There is no right way to be spiritual. You get to be your own way of spiritual. This is a conversation that I've had with multiple people where we try to judge each other on how more of a spiritual we are. And I want to talk about this today. Welcome to day 5 of Codes by Source, a 90-day live series where I am sharing the quotes, messages that I receive as I sit to meditate or contemplate or just get downloads from, because I have developed my connection to Source. So today, what I want to talk about, like I said, is this perception of being spiritual and who is spiritual and who is not, and also this nature that we have developed now of seeking, of trying to seek answers from here or there, or like finding new coaches, finding new therapists, and finding somebody outside of us to receive those answers. So, what came through as I sat to contemplate this is that we don't really have to try so hard in order to find these answers. I'm saying so when I had tried to sit and get these answers, but I have been contemplating and thinking about this for a long time now. And I did not receive these answers just by sitting and meditating. I received those answers and these answers by observing people, observing life. And this is what I want to invite you to also start doing. So we don't actually have to try so hard in order to receive answers, to receive insights. We don't really have to sit down and meditate 3 hours a day in order to become more spiritual or more insightful. We can literally receive answers from life itself. It can be sitting idly and just looking at people around us and observing them, or it can be looking at our mirror reflection, or it can be just being on a very chaotic train ride and observing your status, our own status of being. We can receive answers just like that in those simple moments. So when we receive, when we observe ourselves, we get into this state of introspection. The moment we start observing our life instead of trying to fix it, but just being there with life, we automatically go into a meditative state. We go into introspection. And what is meditation? Meditation is just being in deep awareness of of our own being, right? And we can do that by being in a chaotic train ride, even in a chaotic train ride, but being very present there by being in the moment, all absorbed in living in that moment. So you start meditating when you observe your life. And when you observe your life, you automatically go into introspection. Meditation is being in awareness, deep awareness of yourself, your life. And you can do that by being where you are, being very present with where you are, all absorbed in the moment. And from that place, what happens is you start seeing things from a different perspective. You get the different insights then. Even your own life, even your own self, it starts to feel different. And And the other thing that I want to talk about is we actually have made purpose a big thing. Like you might have seen so many videos and courses. I'll help you find your purpose and what is your purpose. And we have made it very big and dramatic, and it's a spiritual thing. You must find your purpose, right? I will guide you to help your purpose. Like there's so many people who talk about it, and the more I realize, and the more I sit with these thoughts, I realize that the purpose of life is actually just to live it. to live it in the best way possible for us, with the best resources possible for us right now, by choosing every moment to live with consciously, intentionally. And that is the purpose of life. But humans are meaning making machines, so we make meaning out of everything. And of course, uh, we can create our purpose as well, because again, we can create anything. We're consciously creating our life. But the more present we are, the easier our life gets, and the easier our purpose also gets, because the purpose is actually to live it. I can choose my purpose to be right now, to be in the best possible health of my life. That can be my purpose, and ultimately I can start to coach people on health. And then I might be like, yeah, you know what, this is my purpose, this is my calling. But actually I chose and I made it my purpose, I made it my calling. And that is perfectly okay. There's no problem with defining what your purpose is. It's just that it is not such a big dramatic thing that we have made it out to be. Life is very simple, but humans have a way of complicating things. We don't have to complicate things, it gets to be easy. So purpose of life is to live it, and live it in your own way, live it in your own, by live it by your own definitions, create your own meanings. You don't have to even listen to me, right? You just get to live it, be absorbed in it. And as you do that, you will receive those insights, you will receive your own downloads from connection to source, right? You will stop restricting yourself, and you will stop rushing through movements. I have a cold, so I can't even pronounce it. It is movements and not movements. Okay, you actually let yourself just be. That's how I feel. um, we are okay, we are not spiritual because we have accomplished something, or we have foregone something, we have let go of not eating meat. I don't think that is being spiritual. I think spiritual is being right. uh, Everybody is spiritual. So, and also purpose and spirituality, if we combine it, some people say that my purpose is to awaken other people, to figure out that whatever, like you can there's so many things that we are talking about these days in the spiritual community. But purpose is actually what we are choosing to do with our life, right? Because life has actually no purpose but to live it. And what I am doing as a conscious human being is making meaning out of it, choosing to put my mind, body, soul, spirit, energy into it, into this one thing. And that is perfectly okay. But we don't have to make it so dramatic. If you have not figured out your purpose yet, it's totally fine. Whatever, however, observe your life, get absorbed in it, and your purpose will also reveal itself to you, because that is how life works. The more you are in the moment, the more things will get clear for you. And as a society right now, we are just moving from here to there. We are not in the moment. We are either living in the past, or we are thinking about the future. We are not in the present, and that creates a misalignment, that creates confusion, that creates all sorts of different ideas. And we also get disconnected from each other, and there is a lot of disconnection that has happened in society right now. So that disconnection is also happening because we have made, again, spirituality to be this big thing. It has become like an industry of its own, where people are saying that this is how you need to be if you're a spiritual person, this is what you need to be, this is how you need to behave, and this is how you should be, and all these shoulds. Because of that, we've forgotten our own essence, our own unique perspective. But also, we have forgotten that we are all actually one and the same, if we go to the core of us all. And being spiritual is actually noticing our own similarities, right? And if we are on a spiritual journey, and I believe everybody is on a spiritual journey, and somebody can be leaning towards more of the material realm because that is their spiritual path. um, I honestly believe, because we are all spiritual beings, we are all on a spiritual journey. It does not have to look the same for all of us. Yet being spiritual is to understand that we are all the same, and we get to have the differences in the human realm, but we are all going to the same home because we have come from the same home. And all of these differences are the material or the earthly differences that we have. And that is that we don't have to make an like more meaning out of it. We get to be our own way of spiritual. That's completely fine. You are allowed to have your own spiritual journey. You're allowed to have your own definition of being spiritual. You're allowed to have you're allowed to feel more spiritual on one day and not spiritual on another. It's completely okay. Life is to be felt, to be lived, and the more you live your life by being in the present moment, trust me, you're fulfilling your spiritual journey. So if you get caught up in these questions of I'm not meditating these days and I'm not journaling these days, and I highly recommend, like, I am somebody who meditates and journals and all of that, but it is not a necessity. It's not necessary for you to fulfill your your life. It is not necessary for you to do these things because these are all tools, right? You can be the most spiritual person by being in a corporate job if you're doing it with full intention and you're being there when you are doing that job. And you can be the most not like the non-spiritual person if you are in a if you're a priest or whatever, but you still are judging people. Because when you're judging people, you're actually discrediting this whole essence of being spiritual, because spirituality means that we are ultimately all one and the same. So if we are judging each other, we are not being spiritual. um, I am giving you a definition, but it is not a definition. You get to create your own definition, but you are on your own journey. I am on my own journey, and maybe right now being in a judgmental phase is your spiritual is the spiritual journey that you need to be on. And um maybe I am on a completely different journey because I have had those experiences. Not maybe, I've actually had those experiences, and that's why I'm on a different journey. We are on different human journeys, but as at a soul level, we are all the same, and we are actually also on a similar journey, and that's why we are here in the same timeline. There is a spiritual shift that is happening in the world, and that is happening to all of us because we are actually very similar on the spiritual realm, if not on the human realm. Okay, so couple of things that I've set in this code. Um, One is that you get to decide what kind of spiritual being you are being, and you get to have your own definition of spirituality. You get to um, be spiritual one day and not spiritual the other day. Like, you get to live your life your way. That is the purpose of life, is to live it in the most conscious way. Be alive when you're living your life. I think that's the whole thing. And the more you're doing it, I feel like you are the most spiritual when you're doing that. Because when we are in the moment, we can feel actually something else moving through us, and not just the human fluids moving through us, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think this is what I want to share today, because I have observed a lot of this where people are just pulling each other down because they have different notions about who a spiritual person is. And the moment we start to do that, I think we forget the essence of being spiritual, or we forget the essence of spirituality, which is the oneness of all of us. Because we go I'm repeating myself, but we are going to go towards the same um home. We've come from the same home and we're going to go to the same home, right? And you get to be spiritual by meditating every single day, or you get to neglect meditation altogether and just live your life. That is how you can create your own version of spirituality. You don't need to try to be spiritual. We are all spiritual. We are all on a journey. We are all figuring it out. We don't even need to ask all these questions to ourselves just because I am saying it or somebody else is saying it. You get to live your life your way, and that is how that I feel like is the most beautiful way to live a spiritual life. um and I think that is it for today. That is the code that I wanted to share with you. Yeah, meditate, do not meditate, it is up to you. It does not make you any less spiritual or not. Stop judging yourself and stop judging the other people, or at least try to. That is the trying that I would ask you to do, which is, let's be less judgmental of each other. Even though in the humanly world we have a lot of differences, but at the core of us all, we are all the same. And everything that is happening to you is happening to me, because we are also mirror reflections of each other. And yeah, meditate, do not meditate, you are on your spiritual journey. I am on my spiritual journey. Everybody's spiritual journey is different yet the same. We are all going to the same home. Let us be conscious of that. I think consciousness is spirituality. When we are conscious of our efforts, when we are conscious of our state, our body, what we are doing, what we are not doing, who we are, who we not are, when we are conscious of our values, and in being conscious of all of it, we are also conscious that we are all the same, right? So that is what I wanted to leave you with to contemplate on. And of course, like always, if you have any questions, if you feel like I do not resonate with this, I resonate with this, whatever comes to you, please share it in the comments. I would be happy to connect with you and discuss more of this in depth. And yeah, be your own way of spiritual. You got this. Take care. I will see you tomorrow with code 6.